Up on Mornings on the Hill.
Our reporters cover New Hampshire's Democratic primary.
It was a packed house last week for the college Republicans and college Democrats' debate on immigration laws.
Syracuse residents agree with SU's decision to restrict travel to China.
All that plus your weather coming up on this edition of Mornings on the Hill. Good morning, I'm Alexandra Jenner-John.
And I'm Gabrielle Rouse. Thanks for joining us for Mornings on the Hill.
Our top story this hour, Senator Bernie Sanders won New Hampshire's Democratic primary last night, and a team of New House News reporters were there to cover the race for the White House.
Our reporter, Lilia Wood, is in New Hampshire where she found excitement at an all-time high, especially among those too young to vote.
They're small but mighty.
Put that as a claim in school about how kids should be able to vote.
And they're some of the loudest voices on the campaign trail.
Andrew Yang, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
His dad's a Bernie supporter.
Rebecca Rajchak brings her 4-year-old son Ridian canvassing door to door.
It's important to show that you're invested in whatever that looks like. For us, it looks like getting up at 6:30 in the morning with a 4-year-old from Brooklyn saying, like, this election matters, our candidate matters.
Young families traveled up and down New Hampshire to go to all these different political events this weekend, but the parents want to make one thing clear. They're not trying to push a political agenda, but rather they want to show their kids that you can be politically active at a young age.
One of the things we hope by taking them to some of these events to see people in person is to give them the opportunity to hear what they're saying and then ask us questions in real time. So I think hopefully tomorrow or today they'll learn a little bit more than they have in the past.
The kids may not be able to vote, but they want their voices heard.
Climate change.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting too. I think an issue is like people losing jobs over AI and stuff.
Climate.
Why do you think the climate is important?
Because it's the climate. Because it can do damage to certain places.
But why not step up and run for the White House someday?
I don't want to be a president, but I know what I want to be.
What do you want to be?
An 80s rock artist.
Reporting from New Hampshire, I'm Lilia Wood.
The New House students covering the primary have been working with local news stations for a week.
Each student is covering meetings, rallies, and candidates. Our reporters aren't just in New Hampshire to cover politics. Last Wednesday, the Syracuse University College Democrats and College Republicans hosted a debate on immigration laws. The debate took place in the Maxwell School of Citizenship and Public Affairs auditorium. I was there to get the different perspectives from students and from each political party. It was a packed house in the Maxwell Auditorium, with students even sitting on the floor to witness the debate. Each party had 2 representatives to give their perspectives on immigration laws. The chair of the Democratic Party says his team's agenda was to ensure students know that the Democrats supports them.
That we want students to come out here knowing that there's a party that represents them, the working class.
And the Republican Party initiative was?
Very much on PR and showing that Republicans do in fact have well-reasoned policy positions and proposals, and that Trump rhetoric is not the only thing that Republicans should be and are defined.
There was a Q&A held at the end of the debate where students were able to ask the college parties their perspective on immigration issues. One student asked,
should undocumented immigrants return back to their respective countries, what would you account for a lot of the low-wage workers occurring within the dairy industry, where 83% of the workers in the dairy industry are undocumented immigrants?
The Republican Party said,
In my mind, it's a very complex thing because I feel like there's always that there's the talking point that undocumented immigrants are taking the jobs that Americans don't want, and I just don't think that's true.
The Democrats responded with statistics of Americans that apply for dairy jobs compared to undocumented immigrants.
3% of the people who applied were white citizens, and of those 3 people who applied for the job program, only 1.5% of that 3% came back and actually started working on that specific job program. So yeah, the idea that immigrants are taking the jobs that no one wants and you refuting that statement is blatantly not factual.
There wasn't a winner of the debate, but you can look forward to their next debate, which will be in fall of 2020.
International politics are making their way to central New York. The United States has issued restrictions from traveling to China due to the coronavirus. I spoke with Onondaga County Health Department's medical director, Dr. Guoc Nguyen, about how public officials are being proactive in identifying Syracuse residents who may be exposed to the virus.
Person would have to stay by herself or himself and not expose other people. So it depends where that person can be housed and serviced.
The closest potential case of the virus is a student at Cornell. Although his case hasn't been confirmed, other universities like Syracuse are banning university-related travel to China. Groton resident Robert Bagardis says people traveling from abroad should have restrictions as well.
Thorough checkouts to make sure that where these people have been to keep the virus at bay.
Syracuse resident Heather Weiler agrees.
Something needs to, set a boundary, and just so we don't get more of an outbreak.
Dr. Nguyen says the White House has already restricted most of the travel since the end of January.
That may work in our favor to contain it, because then less people would be coming to us from those areas.
Reported illnesses linked to the novel coronavirus have ranged from no symptoms to death. Public officials are encouraging residents to place importance on their well-being. More information about the flu will be coming up in the next half hour. I was freezing when I walked into the station this morning. Cole, how is the weather looking out there right now?
It's looking pretty good out here right now. I know Gabby's from New Orleans, so she gets another day off from snow. It's pretty good out. It's really beautiful. The sun's out. The sun's going to be out most of the day. As we look at today's day planner, early in the morning, we're stuck at we are at 28. We're pushing our way up into the 30s, the low 30s so far. We're going to be at 32 to 35 through midday, and then it's going to stay the same for the rest of the way. And as we move on we look at all the surrounding areas, current temperatures, we got about 30 in all the surrounding areas. Syracuse here, you got Utica, Pulaski, Oswego, Seneca Falls, all at 30. Getting a little warmer out to the east side in Schenectady and Albany, but let me tell you something. You better enjoy these next 2 days because of the 5-day forecast. We look ahead. Wednesday, today, it's pretty nice. Tomorrow, we're going to see some snow, about 80% snow showers, and that's going to make it cold. Friday, we're going to get to a low of about -7. So your fingers are going to turn to ice crisps, excuse me. And I mean, it's been quite an up and down winter we've had here in central New York. You can't seem to pinpoint whether it's going to be snow, going to be 40 degrees out. But this past weekend, though, we got snow, and we got a lot of it. It was all hands on deck to remove an overload of snow this past weekend in central New York.
Snow, 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 snow.
7.8 inches of snow to be exact, enough to cancel all classes across Syracuse University on Friday.
Woke up, got the email, great day, great feeling waking up and just knowing the school's canceled.
Over the course of Syracuse University's history, there have been only 5 snow days, 2 of them coming in the last 3 months. Many students getting a view like this when they first woke up. Others walking to their cars like this.
I was super down to have a snow day. It's really the best thing that's happened this semester.
And depending on how you look at it, the big snowfall could be a blessing or a curse.
And it took me about a half hour to 45 minutes to shovel out my car, just the tires, and scrape all the snow off. And I had to go all the way up to Tennessee, and it was difficult. So that was not fun. That was not a fun part of the snowstorm. But other than that, it was a pretty good weekend.
I mean, it was particularly tough. Like, most of the sidewalks are kind of blocked off, so you had to walk in the road a little bit, which isn't ideal for, when it is like that, because cars get out of control and stuff. But I mostly stay inside when it happens.
Cole Johnson, Mornings on the Hill. So you better enjoy these next few, today at least, tomorrow a little bit. The snow has cleared up, but, back to you guys at the studio. I hope you're warm inside there.
Coming up here on Mornings on the Hill, a student will be joining us for an in-studio performance.
Also coming up, one student reacts to the historical win for South Korea at the Oscars. Stay with us for those stories and much more here on Mornings on the Hill.
Welcome back to Mornings on the Hill. South Korean film Parasite is the first foreign language film to win Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Our Michelle Knezovic talked to a South Korean student about what it meant to him.
The Oscars had a historic moment this weekend, the first time ever a South Korean film won Best Picture. Syracuse student Daniel said that seeing this makes him excited for his future.
Yes, it means a lot to me, especially because as a TRF student and as somebody who wants to work in the media industry, it's something different that an international, like a non-American and a non-white person receiving an award, not an award, but like 4 awards from the Academy.
He is happy that these films are getting recognized and hopefully more will be in the future. And he loves seeing that multiple cultures are getting recognized by the Academy.
A lot of his other works have been amazing as this one, and I think some are better than this one too. So.
For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Michelle Knezovic. Back to you guys.
The Academy Awards also had musical guests, which is what we have now. A Maxwell student has showcased his artistic talent through music.
Our Bailey Arredondo is live with Mutasa.
Thanks, guys. An exciting time here on Mornings on the Hill as we welcome in studio singer-songwriter Mutasa. Mutasa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
A sophomore at Maxwell. Let's start with the inspiration behind your music. I know you said your family is from Zimbabwe. You spent some time there. As musicians, you draw inspiration from where?
Honestly, it's from stories, experiences that I can then change into stories, different people, different things that I go through. But also, I think the main thing is my family. The family aspect of my music, and also just the people close to me inspire my music tremendously.
You started making music in high school. Describe that process.
Wow, so it was funny. I was always a performer in talent shows and all that. But what was funny was then when I got into high school, it became more about, I started to go through more experiences that I could talk about in a musical way. And it became more about then trying to understand how I can explain that musically. So it was making beats in my room with my friends and then writing them and then going into the lunchroom area and singing them for kids and then recording them and then putting it on SoundCloud.
I know you mentioned that you categorize your music in the R&B genre, but how would you categorize your music?
You know, it's funny. I don't really have a genre for my music. I'm more of a phrase. It's the type of music that makes you want to cry, but also take your girl out for dinner. You know, it's that type of music, you know.
You can flip the switch?
Oh, easily. You can be listening to my music and be by yourself and full on cry about something, but then at the same time be like, baby, I need to go to dinner though. You know, it's one of those type of things. So, yeah.
Well, an exciting time because you released your single April 13th. Let's take a listen to that now.
Perfect.
Oh, excuse me. My apologies. I believe that we're going to hear your performance for April 13th.
Yes.
A little quick about the background. Was it the day?
It's interesting. It was I think the song was more about me coming into my own. I think me realizing that a whole other side of my life was, yes, understood, but it wasn't really known. I think the song really kind of takes on a kind of personality of my love life and also me as kind of growing up within this love life and also in my social life at Syracuse, you could say.
Okay, please, let's hear it.
Awesome. So this is April 13th. Hope you enjoy. This liquor ain't hitting the same. Feels like my mind fights for air as I try to dry the pain. Ooh,
again and again. Please, darling, explain. Please. Yeah. 'Cause I don't know why. Yeah. I can't say goodbye. Yeah. Well, I wanted, I held it, I got it. Ay, took my eyes off you and I lost it. Ay, memories of a day you've forgotten. Ay, still play in my head where I locked them. Ay, your head on my chest after all is spent. Nothing like that first day, J. Cole knows the rest. A lasting effect that your presence left. Open my eyes to see clear, that's why I'll never forget. That Saturday sunset in the parking hall where we danced under the Saturday sunset.
Yeah. Voila. Mutasa, thank you so much for joining us here on Mornings on the Hill. You know, I know it's tough, you know, to have a one-name artist, you know, the Princes, the Jordans, the LeBrons, but, you know, I think you can pull it off. So coming up after the break, we have a lot more in store here on Mornings on the Hill. Stay locked in with us because a lecture series on campus is bringing a better understanding to Islam culture. Stay with us for that story and more just ahead.
A community right here on campus is setting time away on Thursday evenings to come together.
Our Mornings on the Hill reporter Jillian Andrews tells us more.
Catholic worship community here on campus meets on Thursday evenings at 7:30. This event takes place at the university's Catholic Center on Walnut Place. The service is followed by a free meal, but to students involved, the event means so much more than free food.
Thursday service has become so popular that they need extra chairs. Hugh Gaffney is in his junior year at Syracuse. He attends the Thursday service whenever he can.
I'd say it's relaxing. It's a nice way. It's after all my classes for the week, so it's a nice way to get into the weekend in kind of a good mindset, a nice headspace.
Thursday service is a chance for students to escape whatever stress they're facing, whether that stress comes from schoolwork or other things happening in their lives and on campus. For Gaffney, it's also a chance to catch up with the people he doesn't get to see every day.
And it's a great way to meet new people around campus.
The student community is encouraged to bring their friends. Whether Catholic or not, everyone is welcome to attend.
I mean, I hope as many people as possible come. I hope they find it's a very open place to, you know, again, meet new people, share in a community.
After dinner on the final Thursday of the month, the Catholic community gives back. They make sandwiches for local soup kitchens and food pantries in the area to help those who are struggling. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Jillian Andrews.
As we saw with Jillian, our student body is filled with different cultures, languages, and religions.
Our own Sarah Asheh is here to tell us how another religion is helping change perspectives.
Thank you so much, guys. Syracuse University's Muslim student organizations are teaming up to teach our campus about their faith.
It means there is no deity, no God except Allah.
Tawheed is the foundation of Islam. It is the belief that there is only one God, or in Arabic, one Allah. Tawheed is just one of the topics discussed at the Understanding Islam series, a series that dives deep into the core beliefs of Islam.
All good and evil are coming from God. There is no other creator beside God.
Understanding Islam is a 6-week series of lectures and discussions for both non-Muslims and Muslims to learn more about Islam. Ahmed Chelik was this week's guest speaker, and he says understanding Islam is a step towards understanding more of our Syracuse University community.
We have very diverse and many kinds of religious groups, ethnic groups from different nations and backgrounds, people are coming together, and the best way to live together is to understand each other, to know each other.
Shule Aksoy is a PhD student at SU, and she says she comes to understand more about her faith.
I'm just interested as a Muslim woman in science. I want to learn more about it. That's why I'm here.
The Understanding Islam series are held in Byrd Library on Tuesday evenings from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Next week's topic is equality. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Sarah Ashekh.
Our 10:30 a.m. anchors, Juliana Maria Trivelpiece and Alyssa Lyons are here joining us. Before we get on to 10:30, we're excited to hear about the New Hampshire reporters we have reporting on the political debate there.
Yeah, it sounds like they've had a great week. I mean, just meeting all these representatives that could potentially represent our country, I think it's wonderful.